Hey, my name's James Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about a Labour council that's just about to nail landlords for millions of pounds in fees. Now, this couldn't come at a worse time. We've just had the Renters' Rights Act, which is going to really increase costs for landlords with lots of different compliance and stuff like that. We've just had the tax raid on landlords in the budget. You've had income tax that's going up 2% for landlords and dividend tax that's going up by 2% for landlords as well. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what this tax is, whereabouts it's hitting, and do I think other councils are going to do the same very, very shortly. We'll talk about that as well. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. You'll get all the latest property news, house price news, council tax news, property investing tips, and much, much more. And let's get some views on this video. Your part in that is simple. All you need to do is smash like, tick or like, do something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that really has helped the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So, nearly a year since the government sneaked in something that allowed councils to have a selective licensing scheme. Now, selective licensing is something that I've been used to because I have properties in Hastings and they have selective licensing. So let's just give you a quick overview on what selective, oh, that's not a T, selective license. So, selective license, there's a reason why you get it. And the reason is that you get areas that are run down, and for a period of time, which is normally 5 years, the council can force people to have a license to be a landlord. And the goal of that is to get rid of antisocial behaviour, bring up the quality of the properties, and just bring up the whole area. But does it work like that? Well, not in my experience. You see, I had a selective license in Hastings on a few of my, well, all the properties I've got down there. And when that first got announced, thought, okay, it is what it is. I'm expecting the council to charge me a fee, and then I'm sure they're going to come round to my property and they're going to check everything in there. And potentially I could have to do some alterations to be able to continue to rent out the property. But that didn't happen. What I did was I paid my fee and then nothing happened. They just took my money. So you went on the website, you did a tick box exercise. And one of the questions was, I recall, are you a fit and proper person? Which you had to tick yes or no. Obviously, I ticked yes. Found that strange that no one actually checked whether I was a fit and proper person. They just allowed me to tick a box to say that I was. And then on the next page, they asked me for £700. Thank you very much. And that's all that happened in that scenario, which was very, very frustrating. And so once that happened, we went through the process, we got our license and we rented it out as normal. Now, some people that have watched my channel before have said, well, they've had selective license and they have had an inspection. It seems that Nottingham is one of the places where selective licenses, they do an inspection. If you've had a selective license or you have one right now, I'd like to know in the comments if you had an inspection or not. It'd be interesting for people to know what areas do and what areas don't. So, at Christmas last year, just before Parliament broke up, they allowed any council to have selective license. Now, before that, councils had to apply, they had to go through loads of paperwork, loads of hassle, so not many councils did it. Now, any council can do it, and it's a revenue generating mechanism. Now, I don't understand why every council isn't doing it, because they're all short of money and this is easy money for them. The downside is that this is another cost onto landlords that gets put onto the tenants in higher rent, or it just means landlords quit, and that's not great. So maybe that's why some councils are holding back, but not Hackney Council. They've decided that they're going ahead with this, and they want to put selective licensing in, which they're doing from May next year to coincide with the new Renters' Rights Act stuff that goes into place. So in Hackney, there are tons of rental properties, 39,493. That's a lot. And so all of those are going to need a license in May, which is going to be a mammoth undertaking. But here's the thing. Right now, the council knows that there's 39,000 rental properties, but they don't know who owns all these properties. They know of about 10,000. However, when the Renters' Rights Act comes through, it's the landlord's obligation to get in the database. And so the council is going to get all of this data updated for them so they can start issuing fines and making sure people are in and getting a selective license. Now, this is where you can get problems, because I've just dealt with a problem today actually with Hastings Council, where I'm renting to Hastings Council. They're paying me the rent every single month, and they have charged me or trying to go after me for the council tax when they're the tenant, which is very frustrating. So I've had to deal with that. And the problem is they've been told my new address, they haven't updated it on their system because it's a different system that's updated it. And GDPR, the lady said she's not allowed to go into that system. So I have to tell her my new address. But had I missed that letter, I could have had a problem with council tax that I didn't even know that they owe. Crazy. Anyway, so Hackney Council, they are launching this. How much are they going to charge? They're going to charge £950 for a unit. That could be a 1-bed property, could be a 10-bed property. That's if it's a single dwelling to one family. If it's an HMO, then it's going to be more. It's going to be 1,450. They have 39,493 units. You do the math. That is a lot of money that they're going to generate from this. I think you're going to see other councils do this stuff, and I think this is going to be another burden for landlords. Now, what Hastings did was that they ran the scheme for 5 years, and it's not on selective licensing anymore, but some places bring it back. Liverpool, for example, had selective licensing. It lapsed and they brought it back, so the landlords have to pay again. So it's meant to be for a short period of time, 5 years being the maximum. The goal is that everyone works to bring up the quality of the properties in those areas. But as I said with my experience, I just felt it was a revenue generating exercise for councils. No inspections were done, no checks were done. It was really farcical. I didn't even have to give them a gas safe. So that didn't make sense to me. However, some of you have said some areas like Nottingham, they do go out and check. So maybe this will work in Hackney. Who knows? I'd like to know what you think about this. If you're a landlord, if you're a tenant, and if you have had selective license somewhere, let me know where, and let me know if you did get an inspection. Last thing, do make sure you check out the Cyber Week deal. We won't be talking about this next week because it will be gone and it will be significantly more expensive on Monday. But with Cyber Week, you're going to get the property accelerator with all the strategies that work right now. Buy-to-let's tough. I wouldn't do buy-to-let as a vanilla buy-to-let. I don't think that works in this market. It will come back at some point. But if you buy, refurbish, refinance, rent, and then you high cash flow with service accommodation or HMOs, or you buy from auctions, all of this stuff we teach you for a one-time fee of £169. Look, you've only got a few days left before the price jumps massively. At least check it out in the description, in the first comment before you go. And check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.